So this is a video by Midas Touch. I don't know if I called it correctly. And it's about Trump's lawyers' appointments being rejected by federal judges. And they seem excited about it. Actually I do like Trump's lawyer. Oh no, am I a psychopath to like her? But yeah, I do think I like her. And I was happy for her. But let's see what the video is about. Let's get to it.
Alina Habba out as acting interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey. The political hack that said she was going to turn New Jersey red just found out that when you can't get yourself confirmed through the Senate because the two Democratic senators in a state are not going to give you the coveted blue slip, then the judges of the federal circuit who are empowered to determine whether you're going to stay in your position or you're going to be replaced are going to vote against you. And that's just what happened in New Jersey. 17 federal judges in the District of New Jersey have voted against Donald Trump and Alina Habba and have put in Desiree Grace, who was, until a minute ago, the first assistant U.S. attorney in New Jersey. She's a career prosecutor. She has a long history of being a federal law clerk, of being a clerk for the New Jersey Supreme Court, for just doing her job. And by the way, she's a Republican. She's not named Alina Habba, who created quite a mess in 120 days, killing the morale in the office, going after Democratic elected officials, and not doing much else. And now Trump has to pick up the
One thing with Americans, the vocabulary Americans use, I feel like it'd be very intense, killing, killing the spirit. Like they use, I don't know if this is a American media vocabulary or just Americans speak like this, but the way he's sounding is making it very intense, almost like 20 times worse. I don't even know what the case was, but he's made it 20 times worse. Yeah, I feel like we can say he's sounding like he's spreading propaganda. I'm not saying he is, but the way he's making it intense. I might be biased because I already started by saying I like Alina Habba.
Habba, who created quite a mess in 120 days, killing the morale in the office, going after Democratic elected officials, and not doing much else. And now Trump has to pick up the pieces behind it. And you just saw Todd Blanche, who's the number 2 in the Department of Justice, Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, along with Alina Habba, who worked closely with Alina Habba, come out with a statement which almost did make me laugh out loud. Here's the statement from Todd Blanche before I get into the meat of this hot take. The district judges in New Jersey are trying to force out Alina Habba before her term expires 11:59 p.m. on Friday. I don't think the math's right. I think her last day is Tuesday night at midnight. Their rush reveals what this was all about, a left-wing agenda. Right, left-wing agenda of appointing a Republican to be the new prosecutor. Not the rule of law. When judges act like activists, they undermine the confidence in our justice.
That's a good point, actually. So if it was a left-wing agenda, why would they appoint another right wing? Or is a right winger more aligned with the left wing? That's a good point to state right there. You see, that's the thing about American politics. It's very divided sometimes, that it's like, if you're with Trump, you're with Trump, and nothing the Democrats do can be right. If you're with the Democrats, you're with the Democrats, and nothing Trump does would be right. I don't like that view on things. You could be Republican and just you see what the Democrats are doing and you like it, then you pick some from them, and vice versa.
Left-wing agenda of appointing a Republican to be the new prosecutor. Not the rule of law. When judges act like activists, they undermine the confidence in our justice system. Todd, honestly, the judges who appointed a Republican to replace an unqualified Alina Habba, who had never been a federal prosecutor, never been a federal law clerk, did not have a federal litigation practice before Donald Trump put her in to be a political hack. The judges are the ones that are undermining the rule of law and the belief in our justice system. I think your boss and you have done that quite on your own, along with Emil Bovey, your right-hand man, who looks like he's going to have some difficulty, but could end up with a lifetime appointment to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. I'm going to break it all down for you right here on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF. How do we get here? First, let me take a big picture approach here. Donald Trump's more than 6 months into his administration. Not one U.S. attorney has been confirmed by the Senate. Not one in 6 months. Not one federal judge has been confirmed under Donald Trump in the last 6 months. Extraordinarily bad record for Donald Trump. That's one. Two, so he placed a lot of his handpicked people in these high-profile positions in New York and New Jersey and other places. And then they get blocked because in order to get permanently confirmed by the Senate, which is required, with one asterisk I'm going to talk about, there's a bad workaround that Trump could use. I'll talk about it in a minute. But normally, generally, you got to get confirmed by the Senate. But you got to have the support of one or both of the senators from that state. New York, Democratic senators. New Jersey, Senators Kim and Booker, Democratic senators. They're not going to give the coveted blue slip to get the person out of committee to the House floor or the Senate floor for a vote. That's what happened when Donald Trump tried to put Jay Clayton, who had been his head of the SEC during his first administration, into the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York. It was blocked by the senators of Schumer and Gillibrand in New York. Same thing happened.
But one would say he's trying to do this, or Donald Trump is trying to put his people just so he can facilitate the right things he wants to do for the nation. So this can be like a national acceptance when he puts a motion forward. Everybody accepts as a nation, New Jersey, New York. You can say that that's why a government, or a leader would want to put his people in the right places, because for one, his people would think like him. If he's a good person and a good thinker, then his people would be good people and good thinkers. And secondly, it'll be easier to be like, well, we want America to be like this, and then we all roll out immediately without any hindrance from the other democratic parties. But if I was the devil's advocate, the argument on the other side would be, then it would just be a one-party government if it's just your people doing everything. Who's going to question your people? Who's going to push back? Because it's just going to be your ideology, and what if that's not the right ideology? So from both sides, I kind of understand. But Alina Habba is not, the way he painted her to be like she doesn't know what she's doing and just somebody who is a failure at her responsibility and never been a public persecutor. I don't know the words he used. I don't want to I don't want to misquote him wrongly. I don't know. I kind of doubt that. I feel like she's solid. She knows what to do. She knows her job. I actually do respect her. I feel like she really knows her job. Yeah. And let's keep going. Let's see what he has to say.
With Alina Habba, Donald Trump knew it. He knew there was a brick wall at the end of the road. And when he lost the votes and didn't have the votes for Ed Martin for D.C. U.S. Attorney, he stuck Jeanine Pirro in, probably illegally, to restart the 120-day clock. There's nothing in the statute that says the president can restart the 120-day clock by keep naming a series of acting interims. So here, he let this thing stretch out. Now, in Washington, because the D.C. judges didn't move quick enough, Donald Trump had a moment in time to stick Jeanine Pirro in. The New Jersey judges, knowing that Donald Trump would do this, moved quickly and voted against extending her 120 days, and only they can extend the 120 days under the way the statute reads. So Donald Trump got caught flat-footed there, except there's a workaround for him. And again, I know people write in comments, Popok, don't tell them these things. I'm giving you the information that's already been used by Donald Trump. And there's a lot of irony in what I'm about.
Trump would know, you don't have to be the one to tell Trump. He has advisors to tell him.
To say what could happen next with Alina Habba. In the Northern District of New York, there was another lawyer named John Sarconi who was also acting interim, who didn't have the votes. This happened 2 weeks ago. So what did Donald Trump did? And this did not get enough attention, but it will here on Midas Touch on Legal AF. He used a constitutional provision that allows the Attorney General to appoint special attorneys, that's generally interpreted to be special prosecutors or special counsel, who are focused on a certain type of investigation. But Bondi ended up, after Sarconi didn't get the votes, she ended up appointing him special attorney with all of the powers of a U.S. attorney to be assigned to the Northern District of New York, effectively giving him the job. Why is this so outrageous? Because remember, it is Donald Trump who argued that Merrick Garland did not have the power to appoint, without Senate confirmation, a special counsel by the name of Jack Smith. And that was bought hook, line, and sinker by Eileen Cannon, the federal district judge in the Southern District of Florida, in the Mar-a-Lago case. Now they're saying, oh, wait a minute. We'll use the same provision that we argued denied Merrick Garland the right to appoint a special attorney, to appoint a special attorney to be a U.S. attorney in the Northern District of New York. This is what could happen with the shell game around Alina Habba. Don't think for a moment that Donald Trump is going to take lightly his favorite, his BFF, his girlfriend that he takes to all the world wrestling events and all of the MF, the mixed martial arts fighting events, that he's going to take this lying down. No pun intended, or maybe pun intended. He's going to find a way to get her that job and shoehorn her in and pay back the New Jersey federal judges. I give a lot of credit to Desiree Grace. She doesn't need this job. She could just stay as the first assistant to whoever Donald Trump appoints. Of course, she'll get canned at some point.
Okay, anyway, I don't know. I really wanted to finish that, but I don't like finishing people's videos, just watching it to its entirety anymore, just so I don't give out all the video and it doesn't give you a reason to go check them out. But I'll put the link to in the channel or in the description. Pardon me, I can't talk anymore. I'll put the link in the description in case you want to go check it out. That was an interesting one, interesting topic. Yeah, but I think Alina Habba is good for the job. I still believe so deep down. And if Trump has any power, I know for sure Trump is going to override whatever they're doing and still put his person in power. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe for the right reasons. If you're in New Jersey and you think this was a good move or not a good move by the judges, feel free to talk to us in the comment section. I don't know what is going on out there, but I think New Jersey is pretty liberal. Yeah, so, but it also wouldn't be a good point in this case because they removed a Republican and put another Republican. Not like they took out a liberal and put a Republican. Not like they took out a Republican and put a liberal. Yeah, so let me know what you think is going on in this case here. I'll look into it more. I'll try to read and see if I can find something, and maybe in a follow-up video we'll talk about it more advanced when I have more knowledge on this. Yeah, it was fun. Share your thoughts, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.